welcome back to the Unscripted podcast. My name is Alex.
My name is Eric.
We got a special guest with us today. It's a longtime friend of ours, someone who's been in and out of the mix from Michigan to down in Florida. He's got a lot of interesting things going on from when he comes back over here to when he's down in Florida. Please introduce yourself to the people.
Hello, my name is Caden, known as Caden Matthews and known as Other, if you know me as Other. Nothing else needs to be said.
If you know, you know, right?
Exactly, right? I'm an entrepreneur, philanthropist, and just a
dibble and dabble and everything.
yeah, right? Yeah, devil and dabbler and everything.
A little bit of everything.
Jack of all trades, I guess, but
Definitely, that's what I was going to say. We definitely want to get into that a little bit of, like you said, the jack of all trades. There's all different kinds of things that you've started and that you're getting into.
Yep.
We really want to touch base on that. But let's just start off from the beginning of you. How long ago did you move out of Michigan?
Wow. 2021,
So
I believe.
3 years ago, we'll say.
About 3 years, almost maybe 3.5.
And you could say a lot changes in a year, but 3 years, it feels almost like a lifetime.
Yeah.
You really have to think about it and how long it's been from where you come and where you go, just like that.
A lot happens in a year, a month, shit.
Exactly right.
Exactly.
Overall, growing up, because you could say, you grew up in Michigan.
Yep.
You're a snowbird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was your experience like growing up in Michigan as a kid?
Wow. Good and bad, I guess.
Which we all have.
Right, of course. And I think that's the biggest thing is our upbringing, correct?
Right.
Exactly right.
Michigan itself as a state, beautiful, absolutely amazing. Downstate you have it's more city, and then you go upstate, and it feels like a completely different world. Doesn't even feel like you're still in Michigan.
Exactly right.
But growing up down in, I grew up in Waterford, Pontiac.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little rough. At first, it was great,
It's
but
each their own, It's definitely not. It's nowhere near the I guess Waterford you could say is the suburbs.
yeah.
But Pontiac is to.
I don't know if Waterford
used to
was
be.
really suburbs. Like it.
When I was a baby, it was very nice. We had Burt Elementary there, and you
I
had.
was gonna say it's definitely had its decline, but it's not comparable down to 7 Mile in Detroit. Or anything
no,
like that.
not even.
It's still no, but it's, I want to put in perspective for the viewers and the listeners, because some
Yeah.
people have no idea. What
Of course,
Waterford
of
is.
course.
Some people have no idea what the retro aspect
I
is.
guess.
And it doesn't even really compare to Pontiac. Nowadays, it's starting to. I think they're starting to blend a little bit more.
Certain parts, definitely.
100%. However, back then, it wasn't as bad. It was. I grew up in the time where we had I didn't get a phone until I was like 13, and at that point it was a BlackBerry flip phone.
We were raised right, man.
Exactly.
Was thrown at us.
You rode your bike over to your friend's house and knocked on their door to see if they were home. Like, kids don't really grow up like that now. So
old school, old fashioned.
Exactly. So I like to think I grew up and really great, honestly. I like to think of the good things like that. Yeah, there's ups and downs really with everything, and but that's what teaches us lessons and makes us really who we are.
What was one thing that you could say you really miss about Michigan?
Wow, believe it or not, the snow.
Really?
The snow,
Not gonna lie, as being in Florida, believe it or not, the snow, and the trees, the woods, being able to drive and just have
palm trees and everything.
Palm trees are beautiful. Don't get me wrong; they're awesome, they're great, but you don't have those lush green forests. Like driving up to like we said, like mid Michigan or upper Michigan. It's like tunnels of green trees.
Yeah, that's it. You're just secluded by just a forest.
There's not much of that in Florida. Once you get out of Clearwater, Tampa, in the major cities as you go down to Miami, it's really just farmland, man. Mm-hmm. It's all farms, and there's a little bit, kind of where I'm staying in Tampa now. So right by there we have like a Hillsborough State Park and whatnot, but.
What is your state park like? What is that? Because I've never been to a state park in Florida.
See, they are.
I'm just thinking of for example, like the DCC by my house.
Yeah,
that's not a state park, but like
they call it.
No, but that's a park.
Yeah. There's
park.
lots of parks in Florida, lots and lots of parks
big,
like
man.
DCC, like that. But the state parks themselves, man, they're like really big swamps almost, but like tropical swamps that have wooden boardwalks that go all through them, and they're actually really
kind
nice.
of like a pier almost.
Yeah, very much so. But I'm trying to think of the aesthetic. They're very. It's Evergladesy, very swampy.
Right.
Yeah,
We went to the Everglades last summer in Florida.
That's how I was gonna ask you for something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we can all assume what the Everglades look like. We all know that,
100%.
Yeah. So they it's very swampy. There's lots of short palm tree bushes, and almost every time I think we've gone to a state park, we've seen a massive alligator. There's the saying in Florida is if it's wet, there's an alligator in it. So right, but it's really fun. It's nice. It's great. It's not like out here in Michigan we have Dodge 4 and we have, like you said, wow, it's been so long. What did you say? DCC, man. It's been a long time. Yeah, wow. It's crazy.
The memories are just coming back.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. Right next to singing St. Pat's, right?
Yep, yeah, exactly right.
Yep.
So let me ask you, Caden, what made you decide to leave Michigan and end up move down to Florida?
Opportunity, I guess. Opportunity. The weather and opportunity. Let's say, see, it's weird to say I miss the snow, but yet I moved away because of the weather, right?
Right.
I went and visited Florida for the first time. I believe it was January of 2020 or 2021. This was mid-pandemic, I think, or like right at the very end. And I stayed on Clearwater Beach in a 5-story Airbnb. It was beautiful. It had an elevator in it and whatnot. At the time, the business I had started was doing very well. I stayed there, and I kind of got a false sense of reality of what Florida was, because I thought all of Florida was like Clearwater Beach, you know? I didn't really leave the beach too much, and thinking back to this now, it's kind of funny because I was like, wow, Florida's fucking amazing, you know what I'm saying?
It's sweet.
Yeah, it's
then you go in right here.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And then I literally remember sitting up in the master suite on my laptop at the time and being like, I'm gonna move to Florida. And my buddy was sitting in there like getting ready to go out to the hot tub, and he laughed at me. He's like, yeah, all right, yeah, do it. And I was like, I will get on Zillow right now. And I got on Zillow. I was going through some shit here back in Michigan, like with my ex relationship, and I wasn't in the place I wanted to be. You know?
That stuff is like we said, though. It's all those things that happen for a reason to push you to become greater than the person that you are today.
I'm a true believer that every single thing happens for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Whether it's good or bad, it's the foundation of
that shit never happened. You might have never been in Florida.
Exactly. But I found an apartment. I think I spent maybe 2 days looking for an apartment. Didn't even do a tour, nothing. Just kind of
just sent it.
Just sent my fucking application, man. And
I've been to your first. Are you still at that same place?
No, actually.
I've been to your first place, and that was nice. I liked that place.
Yeah, it was nice. It was very nice. That was out in Largo, right next to Clearwater Beach, probably about 10 minutes off the beach. It was beautiful. I love that place.
He was on the first floor, remember?
I remember now. Yeah.
For me, not touring that apartment and just kind of risking it.
You actually got a good apartment.
I did.
Man.
I got lucky.
It was updated.
Thinking about it now, I would never, ever do that.
Just send it like that, yeah.
Ever. That is I think out of all the risky decisions I've made, that might have been the riskiest decision.
But it helped you become, get yourself in that position again.
It did,
because it put you in a place where you had to really take a risk. And not even just a risk, but a risk on yourself. And you say, is it worth it for me to live like this and do this?
Well, exactly.
And can I make it be worth it? Am I going to be able to still make money and live like this?
And that leads me into, really, I don't think people will take that jump or take that risk of, whether it's starting the business or just even moving out of their parents' house unless they are put in that position of hardship that they have to. You need to do this. Or they need to think in their mind, I have to do this, or my worst nightmare is going to come true, pretty much. And that's the case I was put in. And you're right. You're very right. Every single thing happens for a reason. And I think too many people nowadays are pampered, to say.
Just everything kind of just tossed out. They don't really have a work ethic anymore to them.
They don't have a work ethic, but it's also they don't have a need for a work ethic. They weren't put in that position of, I have to do this, It's crazy because growing up in Waterford and seeing people not have a lot but still be very happy with it,
I'll give a perfect example. My first job at 14 was working at McDonald's, right? And I was making $7.25 an hour. And there's people in there that are triple my age, so it's 45 years old, 2 kids and a husband, two kids and a wife, making $9.50 an hour at the time. They're happy.
Exactly.
And their family's like working.
Exactly.
But obviously that's for them. They make it work, and it's awesome that they can make that work. I wanted better for myself. And I'm sure as if you saw the same, that making and buying a family of 4 by $400, $300, it's not enough.
Not enough at all. And then moving to Commerce, Walled Lake. seeing how people live over there. It's
just 10 minutes away,
so
but it's a whole different
different,
world.
quite a bit
It's-
different, man. Very different. And that I think that's kind of what opened my eyes a little bit. And I was like, wow, sitting at Walled Lake and seeing some kid pull up in his dad's R8. Like,
Right.
Somebody just doesn't sit right.
yeah, something about that doesn't feel right. Like why? Somewhere along the line, you're dealt cards, man. It's really how you handle them.
That's exactly right. You can either fold them or you can play them and see where you go.
Yep, and it's that's why I see it's more. It's you talk about 7 Mile and people out there. It's very more common that you see young 15-year-olds or even young men like us 20-year-olds with 100,000 cash, where
100%.
you would never see that. Or very rarely see someone from Commerce like that. It was because they weren't put in the position where they had to go get it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I truly agree with that. That's
They may not be getting it the right way, but they're out there getting it. You can't knock someone's hustle.
hey, you can't knock it. Exactly.
But let me ask you this, Caden. Traveling, what is it, 900 miles, 1,200 miles? How far is it?
1,200, I believe.
1,200
1,250.
miles?
Yeah,
You
something
get
like that.
homesick?
Oh, yeah. I believe. Homesick from both places. I get homesick from Michigan, and I get homesick from
Really?
Florida now. Yeah,
Interesting.
being up here, we've only been here for 3 or 4 days now, and I think I'm gonna be here for another week.
Mm-hmm.
You come back often though, right?
Very often.
I'd say,
which
yeah,
is
you're back here like 3,
just
4 months.
very. That's good, it's nice, and that's another reason because I'm so homesick. It's very much of I like to stay. God rest her soul, but my mother just passed.
Yeah, I'm
she,
sorry.
of course,
Sorry for
thank you
your
guys
loss.
very much.
Loss.
I was up here a lot to really take care of her and
Uh-huh.
see her. And now that I'm still gonna be up here just as much,
Mhm.
but even then, it was more coming up here just to stay in touch with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, being up here, we've been up here for 4 days now, and I miss my cats and shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
Do you still have any family in Michigan?
Yeah, yep. I have my aunt. I have 2 aunts actually.
Mhm.
An uncle, another aunt. Lots of aunts and uncles. All my grandparents are gone, besides my grandmother who lives down in Florida. But all my grandparents
Oh,
in
nice.
Michigan are gone.
Oh, that's sweet. So you got her down in Florida?
Yeah, yep. She lived in Clearwater actually right when I moved down there. Believe it or
really?
not.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
I never got to see her in Clearwater, which was a little upsetting. But she moved up to Sarasota now, right next to the Air Force Base, because she married an old veteran. He was actually part of the Blue Angels.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So they live up there now, and she's very happy. She's
That's
living
awesome.
life.
What would you say was the hardest part of, I guess, starting fresh?
Starting, man.
Because that's what I was saying. It's not even about getting the
Knowing.
place. Not even about finding the job. It's about your life restarts. You have no friends out there. There is, like you said, it's just grandma out there. So you're not gonna go chill with grandma every day.
Exactly.
You're not gonna go crochet every day and just do
Wow,
some stuff.
thinking of it, when I first moved to Florida, the only friends I had were the ones I hung out with when I had gone down to Clearwater
Uh-huh.
the first time. And those were my friends Keegan and Derek. And the reason I had gone down to Clearwater was a little before that, Derek had gotten in a very bad car accident and unfortunately became paralyzed. And
Oh,
I was
geez.
very scared that I wouldn't, at the time. It was very scary. We didn't know what was going to happen, So
right.
I went down there to see him, and thank God he made a full recovery. And that's kind of when I saw Florida for what it was. But when I got into that apartment at first, man, for months and months, it was almost like back in Michigan when I lived alone. It's the starting fresh. Like you said, you don't know anybody, so
Yeah. It's a big jump that you have to take to be like, all right, hey, my name's Caden. Come hang out with me.
Exactly. I would go and ride my scooter down on the beach because I was always into scootering and skating. I'd be doing double tail whips off stairs and stuff, and people would be like, "Oh my god!" and come up and talk to me, And that's how I kind of made some of my first friends in Florida.
100%.
That's sweet.
Yeah, and I kind of just I entertained myself by going to the mall and going to here and there while after I'd wake up, get my work done, and be like, "Shit,
Time to go have fun.
yeah, I got nothing to do now, so how am I gonna meet somebody?" And the funny thing is, like you said, like we say, everything happens for a reason. I was chilling on top of a parking garage in Clearwater, and I was taking a dab out of the peak, watching the sunset, and some guy, a buddy of mine now, saw me, and I see him looking at me, walking up to my car.
Uh-huh.
And he walks up to my window and he's like, "This is a nice car, man." And I was like, "Thank you." And he's like, what are you smoking? I was like, yeah. And he's like, I got a blunt. You trying to match? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I never would ever be like one to be like, hop in my car, to some random stranger. But for some reason, something was like,
this guy's cool.
It's different.
Let him
when
in,
you're
you
out
know?
there, man.
And yeah, I smoked. We like smoked, and I got to know him, and I started hanging out with him, and that was really like my first friend I had met. And maybe 2 months after knowing him, hanging out with him like every day, me when I first came down to Florida. Let's be honest, another reason I came down to Florida was the girls, right? Obviously,
100%.
That's
the
main thing that
beaches,
they're
the
known for,
girls,
bro.
the bikinis,
They're
everything.
all sun-kissed down there, bro.
It was we all live in Michigan. There's beautiful women everywhere, but
it's a different breed though. Southern girls is a different breed.
Different breed. But about after too much of knowing him, he called me one night and he's like, "Hey man, I got some buns for you," which is what he would call food. It's funny.
I got some buns. He's an old man, huh?
No, he's a very
Florida slang
hood
is
African
different,
American man.
What's up, Jet?
Very hood African American man. Dreads down here. He's a cool guy though. Very funny. But he called me, he's like, "I got some buns," and I was like, "All right, cool, slide through, man." And he pulled up and he introduced me to my now girlfriend Skylar, who I've been with for almost 3 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's another one. Everything happens for
here.
a reason.
That's what I mean, exactly. And it was weird. It was almost like I've never believed in something called love at first sight, but I can't. It's inexplicable. You literally can't
Like
explain
you said, it's
it.
just love at first sight. That's all it is.
It was weird. It was very weird. But yeah, from there we it's the weirdest thing. She would hang out. She started hanging out at my house like every single day. We were just infatuated with each other as well. With him, like she was his like best friend. So we were all just chilling, having a great time. And she like stayed over at my house. We're gonna come back to this later because I know one of the when I start talking about some crazy stories, this leads right back to this. But she stayed over one night, and she stayed over another night. She stayed over another night.
The rest is history.
And she never really left. And from there on out, we lived together.
And from there, you kind of just sold your soul away.
Exactly.
Bro? That's it.
Selling the soul,
That's too good,
right?
man. Everything happens for a reason, though.
But it's honestly the best decision I've ever made, and we've both created a flourishing business together, and
awesome.
I can't be happier.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Man. That's amazing.
Everything does really truly happen for a reason.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what are you doing for that? We know you have your crypto project.
You said you guys started a business together.
Yes.
Your business that
Fill
you
us in a
started
little bit more on
together.
that.
Separate businesses together. Let's say that. This kind of leads into another story of weird how everything happens. I'm not going to give too much information away because I'm sure it won't be too hard for people to find anything. But how do I put this? Let's keep it PG-13.
You got to use the terminology that we would use in middle school.
Of course. I was one day. This is a whole story, man, of how. So, what do I do? Let's start with that question. I've been focusing most, if not all, of my time towards recently the NFT project, Store and Crypto Club, and we'll touch more on that here in a minute.
We got a lot more questions about that one. So.
A lot coming there, but that has. Starting a business is one thing, but creating a project like that, of that magnitude, especially in a bear market of the crypto space, NFT space mostly, is very hard. But I'm doing that. I'm also in the midst of starting a real estate and photography and videography business. So,
cool.
Yep, I'm seeing a very big need for that, especially down in Florida. And
just get yourself a drone, bro. And you're
Right,
set.
bro.
Well, I have my partner Derek, the one who actually got in the accident. He's the since he can't really get upstairs and into the homes and stuff, he got a really nice professional drone, and he's the drone pilot.
That's
and
sweet.
he also got FAA certified, so he's the drone pilot outside, and I'm the photographer inside. So that's really nice, and that's starting to take off really well. I'm starting to get many leads, which is promising. They're all a lot farther than I would like, but it's getting
Start
there.
somewhere.
Exactly. And then
You like to make some videos?
we could say that. I got into the adult film scene. I am now an adult film star. I'm very well known.
Star.
You could
Superstar.
not superstar.
Oh,
There's
nah.
superstars out there, but I would say it's getting to the point where I'm becoming well known. And like
That's awesome.
the other day, I looked at my name just to be curious because I saw someone else do it, and he got like 350 million results. I was like, bro,
On what, TikTok or?
just on Google.
On
And I was
Google.
like, if there's anywhere near that for me, like this is a problem. You know, like, but I found myself on like IMBD on like Amazon and stuff. So it's like it's very, it's getting to the point where it's like
random
okay.
people. Like,
So there's some mom halfway across the country ordering your tape.
Oh man, for sure, I guess. But the way that started and the way we kind of started businesses if you want to call it a business, the way we started it was a business. I was outside working on I'll give the short story, there's a lot of things we're gonna touch back on when it comes to crazy stories because, man, Florida's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I bet, bro.
Let me say
I
that.
bet.
I saw this guy pull up in this Mercedes with red wheels on it, and I was like, the first thought in my brain was, who's this guy with daddy's money? He pulled up, he was going to my neighbor's house, he walked up, he's like, hey, I love your car, I used to mess with these, do you want to go for a ride? We went for a ride. This was during Hurricane Irma, I believe. Raining super bad. Probably shouldn't have gone for a drive. I had sent it a little far and hit an oil patch, and it sent my car backwards over a median and totally totaled my car. And he was like, okay, here. Again, trying to keep this PG-13.
Hey, it's the unscripted.
This is the very short story.
Let me tell you this, Ken. We call it the unscripted podcast because we don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
So
That's awesome.
Whatever
I
you
love
got,
that.
yeah.
I love that.
We keep it simple. You know, the
love
only
that.
script that we have is just our questions. Just so we
Hey,
can keep it.
anything
on
needs to
topic.
be bleeped out. It can be bleeped out.
Yeah,
you know,
that's-
for monetary purposes. I'm not gonna say it's been it's weird to say, not a dream, but like, you know, especially in what I do now with philanthropy, it's kind of weird to say that I do adult films because I'm not really in like the Andrew Tate type that's like, stop watching porn, go to the gym, you're a loser piece of shit. You know, I'm not like that. I just try to tell people to do a little bit better every day and work on yourself. Let's say
Don't be Superman. Just be a better version of yourself.
I've taken care of myself from a very young age, and I'm just teaching other young men how to do that and young other entrepreneurs how to do the same
100%.
thing. So, but some people, like, that's a question I get a lot is, don't you think that kind of contradicts? You know, don't you think those kind of contradict each other? And I don't really think so. You know, I think, if anything, they, in a weird way, overlap. However, back to the story, getting off topic a little bit. We crashed, and he was a really cool guy. He sat there with me on the side of the road in the pouring rain for hours while I waited for the police and all that. It was a really cool guy, and he was like, okay, here. Once we figured out my car was totaled, it was going to cost me like... Remind me, I had just bought this car for $18,500 cash maybe 3 months before.
Was
so
it the Infinity?
The Infinity, yep.
Don't you still drive an Infinity?
I still do.
Okay,
It's the same Infinity. I fixed that bitch back up. It was very expensive. Dude, I'm like $50,000 into that car now. It's crazy.
More than the car's worth.
Yo,
man.
oh, far. I'm not... There's
That's how we're keeping it.
There's no selling that car anymore. Yeah, let's just take my loss. Take my fucking loss to the head. But, he was like, okay, here. He was already well known on OnlyFans at that point. Really well known. And this was 2.5 years ago. So this was before the big boom.
Was this guy your age too? Like our age, or is he a lot older?
He's 23, I believe.
Okay,
so
so not
maybe
that much
2
older.
years older than me, yes. He had just moved to Florida from Vegas. And he had been all over. He's like, all right, I'm very well known on this. He's like, do you want to just... He's like... How do I put this? Are you hung? And I was like, well... you know, and he's like, okay. He's like, well, I have an idea. He's like, just to pay for your car. Why don't you start this? We'll make a threesome video, and the money you make from that should pay for your car. And I was like, you know what?
So instantly you had the angel and you had the devil pop up.
Yeah, it was a very... I think back to this all the time because...
It's a surreal moment.
It's you know, every decision you make leads you down. Every single decision you make leads you down a different path. And if I would have said no, I would not be where I'm at today. If I would do it, and we all know I said yes.
And God bless, it worked out for the best.
It did far better than either of us could ever have imagined. within the first week, I was up to like 350 fans, which is not normal at all. That's not normal for that. And it just kept going up and up and up from there. I continued to do all my other businesses my other one business at the time on the side, selling sneakers and streetwear and whatnot, which was doing well. But however, we all know the streetwear industry kind of came to an end, and when there was a few
market crashed.
There was a few terribly, and there was a few other mishaps with business partners and whatnot that caused that company to have to be dissolved, unfortunately. And as you talk of what's the hardest part of starting fresh is starting, and at that point it was coming to an end. And so it was really, I saw myself at that time, it was from a place of like, okay, I need to do this to, so I'm not going into debt to fix this car, right? But it exploded and did so well at that point that I continued for a little bit because, hey, it was amazing side money. I'm not going to money for literally 30-40 minutes of work a day.
I was going to say, it's not much work and you're getting a good bag for it. So it's hard to refuse.
It's very little work and very good pay. And I see why, the temptation is there for all these other people. And but again, this was 2.5 years ago, before the boom of, we all see the boom of OnlyFans now.
Every person and their mom.
Everyone's a fucking OnlyFans.
Every person and their mom is on OnlyFans.
This was before. It's crazy because
you caught it at a good time.
I caught it right before it had, which is wild because it's almost like every industry that I've entered into, I entered into the exact perfect time. And you know what's funny?
So I'm meant to be.
I've told Skylar. The funniest thing is you are the one that originally, if it wasn't for you, I probably would have never moved to Florida. Believe it or not, you, Alex Yakim.
What'd I do?
If you never would have told me, hey man, you need to invest in Dogecoin. I remember you called me when I was in that white Waterford apartment. You called me, man, you need to invest in Dogecoin. I remember at that time I put $20 in and it turned to $1,000, I think. And I was like, whoa.
This dude knows something.
Yeah, this dude knows something. And it took a major fall through that. And I think at that point I put $1,200 in or something like that. And that's right when that bull run came and hit. And I rode it all the way to the top. And I made $89,000 from a $1,200 investment. And
that's nuts,
truly, that changed my life right there, for sure. So
it's the stepping stones you need. It's just the foundational blocks that help you get everything started. Because
100%.
To get from 80,000 to 160,000 is not hard.
No.
But to get from 0,000 or from $0,
89,000.
That's hard as shit.
Well, like what they say, to go from 0 to $1 million is a lot different than go from 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Because from 0 to 1 is a lot of, you can make $1 million from your business.
100%.
Very hard to make $10 million from your business. The $10 million comes from investing.
Yeah, or it's unless you have multiple businesses that are working at the same time.
Of course.
That's the only, expanding.
For example, I don't know if you guys have heard of Iman Gadzhi. He's I look into him after this. He's a 23-year-old entrepreneur. He started his first business when he was 18. And he started his first business when he was 16, and by the age of 18 he made his first $1 million, and by the age of he's 23 and he's worth, I think, $50 million at this point. Yeah. He's very successful, and the way what he says is very true, and that's kind of I'm trying to compare him to what we're saying here.
More or less, he was someone who just grinded as hard as shit at a really young time, built not even a name for himself, but an empire.
Exactly.
And that all just worked for him, and then it kind of just built his wealth while he worked on other things.
And that's exactly. So he said from 0 to $1 million was from his, he owned a social media marketing agency. So he made his $1 million from that. But from 1 to 10 million was
you got to find the next company that's going to make you that money.
He made a lot of his other companies. He started another company called Growth, which was like a course. And then he also did, crypto and watches and all these things that amassed his wealth. And that's really where it comes from. But back to the story. I'm getting so off topic.
You're okay.
I started that did very well. After a few months, maybe a year, I was contacted by a very big, well-known name in the industry by the name of Filthy Rich. He is, you might not know the name, but you know the face. I can say that.
Yeah.
He's America's dad. If there's ever a dad for adult films, he is 90% of the time him. So he contacted me and said, hey, would you be interested in doing professional films? And at that time, that's another very big turning point, you know,
Yeah.
because that was another giant decision. But like I said before, it's kind of like I've never said it's never been a dream of mine to be an adult film
No,
star.
right.
But however,
Honestly, I've known you for a while. That's never been something.
no,
that's
never.
come up.
But we all know, like at a young age, maybe 12 or whenever we're on the
I'm
hub
gonna
or
be a porn
whatever,
star.
we were kind of looking at it. It would be the thought popping out, you know, what would that be like? You know, like, and I always kind of never really thought about it like that, but.
You have sex with women and you make money.
Right.
And then other people watch it.
It was a thought. It was always a thought of like, wow, what is that like? You know, it's never a thought of like, I'm going to do that. Like, that's what I'm dedicating my life to. And it's still not at all. If anything, it's means to an end. That's very much the truth. Especially now with as the philanthropy grows, it's the adult films are going to die out.
Oh, so are you slowly getting out of that?
100%. If anything, I've pulled back heavily, severely recently. I've
It's all about the digital footprint.
It's the digital footprint, but it's also sure, it's great money. Like I got paid a little under $1,000 to shoot, but it's not. When I look at it from a way of like, so on my OnlyFans, if I were to do something like that, even though it's just on the side and I put very little work and effort, like I hire managers to run my Twitter and whatnot, which is amassed over 100,000 followers and stuff. So that's done great, and that's really what I think has helped the most, and that's where Rich had reached out to me through.
Exactly.
But I hire people to do all these things. I don't need to do these myself, so it's very much a side thing. But to see that the money that one film like that generates and what I'm being paid doesn't compare, not even close. So that's a big reason. But it's also like you said, it's a digital footprint. That's not what I'm here to do. You know.
You got a bigger purpose.
100%.
Let me ask you this, Caden. You've lived in both states, Michigan and Florida. I could say you've done more business in Florida than you have in Michigan, but you've done some business in Michigan. Where do you think it was easier / more beneficial, to start a business overall? And I'm not just talking about like one specific one. I'm just saying overall, being a businessman, having to, because that's what I'll say. I would say I'm just gonna speak for you for a second. In my opinion, I'd say it was easier in Florida because you had more success, but you could have had more fun doing it in Michigan because all your people were here.
Correct.
So that's just my opinion. That's how I kind of would look at it.
I say very frequently, our environment is the.
You're a product of your surroundings.
You're a product of your environment, right? Growing up, this kind of leads back to the first thing. Out here in Michigan, many people, you are who you surround yourself around. You are the sum of your nearest 5 friends, and that is the truth. So. And this is another reason I really moved. Looking at my friends and the people around me in Michigan, I love them, right? I love the people, I love it, but no one had that.
But they just weren't the right people for you. You can still love someone.
Exactly. No one had that hunger. No one was
driven.
No one was really driven like that. And I think you really are a product of your surroundings. And it's not even just that. It's you have those harsh winters. Seasonal depression is a big thing.
It's serious.
That is a huge thing.
I'm still feeling it.
Yep. I had noticed that, like, I would be going through the winter, like, okay, just grind through the winter so I can, be chilling in the summer. But, like, it's a mindset thing. I think in Florida, it was easier because of the environment. You can go grab your computer and work out on the beach if you would like. And that's so more...
The networking was more accessible?
The networking, oh my gosh. So, not to name drop or anything, but just recently, I was, like... with adult films, it's not a job. It is truly a lifestyle.
Yeah,
the amount of people I've met, the rooms I've been able to get into, and the opportunities I've created with that is immense. Like just a few weeks ago, I was sitting drinking Happy Dads with Steve Leduic's manager, Mark.
Oh, that's
Murph.
awesome.
Yeah, I have him in my contacts. He's just texting me saying, "When are you coming back to Miami? We need to do a stream." So to like watch these people on YouTube and like think like, "Oh wow, those people are so awesome," and then just a year or a few months later, be chilling in a room with them.
Sitting right next to them or
but
across to them.
The only thing you're thinking is, wow, these are just normal people.
Right.
They just worked. They just grinded and stayed. What I preach on my Instagram all the time and YouTube, stay consistent, disciplined, and it's almost inevitable. Like success is, if you stay consistent, disciplined, and persistent, you don't give up. You get knocked down and you get right back up.
100%.
You get punched in your jaw and you're standing right there staring at them in the face
stitch
again.
it back up.
Exactly.
Go get it rewired.
That resilience is needed for any business, for anything. So the amount of opportunities that has presented is crazy. So, and that's not, those people aren't really up here chilling in Michigan.
Right, man.
You know,
That's exactly
very
right.
rare.
Maybe when
They
Detroit
work
comes
here,
back.
but
Right.
they're not chilling here.
The-
They're not out and about. They're not just
Biggest
sitting there.
thing I think we did in Michigan was I sponsored an event, and we had Dame Dot, Peasy, Skilla Baby, G-Mac Cash, and a lot of other Detroit artists play there, which was huge. That's awesome. But
Doesn't get you much.
that doesn't get you too much. It's not like, actually sitting in a room talking, networking with some of the people that literally run the internet.
Right.
You know? So
Miami's like a hub for those.
Miami is a
people.
hub for business, for crypto, for content
Really
creation,
anybody,
for
man.
everything. And so is Tampa. It's amazing, you
Mhm.
know? So I would
A lot of
say
people out there with the same drive as you.
for sure. Oh my God. It's crazy, and it's eye opening because it's like, wow, like where was this in Waterford? Where
We're all depressed as shit up here, man.
Where was this in Waterford? Man, let me
But,
tell you, not there.
yeah.
It's still not there.
Nope. Unfortunately, and like you said, the people who are getting it the wrong ways. Unfortunately, most of them.
Yeah.
Most
Right.
of them. You know, and I'm very proud of you and everything you've done here, man.
I
Like
appreciate it.
I've
bro.
watched your business grow over these few years, and it's
Something that started in the
done
garage, went to the basement, went
Amazing,
on and on
bro.
and on and on from there. It's
I
just-
remember you pulling up to my house, just selling me those, some of the first orders you ever got in.
Exactly
man,
right,
and
bro. I tell people that all the time, and it's just like, how'd you start out? I was like, bro, it's having a competitor who sold drinks for $40, and I just sold them for $30. It was ridiculous.
That's it, just starting, man.
But
It's-
people bought it and they found an interest.
It's that vision. It's having the vision of, I can do. It's again that persistence. Of
Mhm.
no matter what anybody says, you have that vision of, no, this is gonna happen. You know,
exactly
like,
right.
exactly.
For me, let me just ask you this: what was your biggest difficulty that you had to overcome?
In general, or
We'll say in general, and then being in Florida,
in flow. Okay.
because they're two different. They should be two completely different
In general,
feelings.
time management. I would say time management is a big one. That's especially when as I said in the beginning, it's kind of a joke, a jack of all trades. You know, I don't.
No,
you
but you do a lot.
You
but-
finish that sentence, a master of none, though. So, I don't like to look at it like that. A jack of all trades is a master of none, and that's true. That's very true. It's time management in the point of I think that's the hardest thing in general for me. Keeping yourself disciplined. On those days you really just don't want to get up or do anything. That's the biggest and hardest thing I think for a lot of people. But time management, really. Getting up in the morning, which I think going to OA really taught me. Because school was from 2 to 8 p.m.
Yep.
So I had my after school was from 6 in the morning to 2 p.m. So I was up early a.m. and that's what really wired my clock to start getting up early, I think, and kind of just getting in the gym every day. I started that when I was mid high school. I fell off a bit, and then more recently, obviously in the past few years, I've gotten heavily into that. But the time management, having to sacrifice things to do other things, like especially with Stoner Crypto Club, it's
So say we were just about to jump into the.
major amount of work, so as I'm the artist and the founder, and I'm also hiring and doing all the
So are you doing all the designs on them too?
designs. Yes, I'm the artist. I'm the we have illustrators for like some things you'll see on our Instagram and on our website and whatnot
Right.
that are done by an illustrator. But it is, as of right now, the team is me, 2 or 3 marketers. I'm having some issues with the co-founder right now. This is my biggest problem. Lack of communication, no communication, if anything, which is becoming a huge problem, especially for a project of this magnitude.
Right.
He's
That's
going
not
through some
good.
personal things, which I totally understand. We all do, man.
I was gonna say just sorry to cut you off, but before we dive in too deep onto
Yeah.
tell to the people what Stony Club
Right.
is.
Stoner Crypto Club is
my bad.
no,
Stoner
no, no,
Crypto
no,
Club.
no. You're totally good. I hear that many, many, many times. Stoner Crypto Club. We are an NFT project helping nonviolent cannabis prisoners and really just nonviolent drug offenders in general.
Awesome.
I forget the name of the movie we recently just watched, but I'm sure if other people are watching this, they've seen it. It's about the kid who got into, unfortunately selling Molly with his friend and made an order and got caught by the police and got held up in jail for all these years and got beaten and raped and ended up killing himself in jail. And it's very
Sure.
sad.
Wow.
It's very sad. Very sad movie.
Is this new?
No, it's actually been out for many years, but it's I remember seeing it when I was younger, but it's watching it older now, especially while I'm building this business, it hits so much harder now. But it's sad to see, I'm getting off topic. What it is we're a 10,000 token NFT project, so that means that there's 10,000 NFTs.
So it's a limited quantity.
Very limited quantity, very. And with each NFT, you not only own a portion of the company, but you directly have a hands-on in helping each prisoner that we are donating to.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing.
Over 30% of proceeds are going directly to prisoners, and our main goal with this really is to create our own organization and our own advocacy program, so we can directly have our hands on in this. And because right now we're partnered with the Last Prisoner Project. I don't know if either of you have heard of them.
No, I've heard of it actually.
They're a very, very amazing company, and what they do is absolutely extraordinary. We're partnered with them right now, but I'm not going to get into figures, but when you get into 30% of revenue of a company just being obviously not all being donated at once, but we want to know where everything's going and
Right.
to every penny. And so our main goal here is, with the help of every person in the project and growing the community, of creating our own advocacy program and organization.
Oh,
So
yeah.
That's amazing, man.
yes, I'm very excited. I'm very optimistic for what's in store.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So how did you become so passionate about wanting to help the cannabis community and the canna prisoners? Tell me how that came about.
Well, I'm a very passionate. I don't want to say stoner. That's a bad word.
Cannabis
Connoisseur.
There you
Thank you. That you literally took the words out of my mouth.
Cannabis
Guys are
It's what's
dictionary.
it's what's in my bio, right? Cannabis connoisseur. When I was young, my almost second mom, my best friend's mom, she was a cannabis cultivator. From as young as I can remember, and I always saw they had a beautiful garden, massive garden in the backyard, full of lilies and all these different flowers, and they were very, very great gardeners. And her late husband, God rest his soul, he was a very big inspiration to me in that space, and unfortunately, around 12 years old, I was a bad kid, I was a
We all were,
a little shithead,
Badass motherfucker.
I started smoking, and it wasn't really just to, I guess it could have been a combination of just wanting to be a little shithead, but also, just to escape my current reality at that time,
100%.
But when I got into the actual cultivation of cannabis, that inspired me so much.
You appreciate a lot more than what it is.
It's a
beautiful
100%
plant,
to
man.
see what it actually does for people, and then to experience it myself. I have 2 herniated and ruptured discs, and when the doctors were trying to force opiates down my throat, literally, like almost trying to force them, like, no, you need to take these.
Yeah, this is
Right,
the only
man.
thing that's gonna help you.
Exactly. It's very scary. It's very scary to see, and to see that cannabis truly has helped me with that in ways I can't even imagine, like I can't even comprehend, is truly amazing, and to see it happen for other people. But also, the way I have personally been treated by the police for cannabis, that is another major inspiration of.
Just wanted to help these people.
I have firsthand seen the war on drugs as a young kid. Like, they're punishing me at 11, 12, 13 years
Fucking
old.
gram of weed.
Yeah, literally, and it's crazy, man. And so thinking back to that was also a huge inspiration. So I would say it was really the people I grew up around, and really the way I was raised. I started cultivating cannabis when I was about 12.
Are they more strict on those laws in Florida with
Oh
the
my
cannabis use?
gosh,
Down south, baby.
I've been to Florida
I
a
was
couple times.
oh man,
Got weed a
yeah.
couple times
You
from
sure remember.
Florida.
And it ain't the
bro.
best either,
It's
you
not
know?
the
No,
best,
no.
man. No,
It's
It's
getting-
expensive and it's not the
But
best.
all I
It's
remember
starting to
is
get there.
you do not want to get caught with this in Florida.
No. Now that it's medical, they're a lot more lenient. However, if you
How about
get,
wax?
they're still lenient. I mean, we have like Jungle Boys. They have rosin. 710
You guys have
recently.
Jungle Boys down
Yeah, we have Jungle Boys. We have
Shit.
Cookies. We have 710 recently came down about a year and a half ago.
there? Yeah, man.
They just came to
Yep,
Michigan too.
Yep, and they're killing the game down there. So
100%.
with concentrates, they're a lot more lenient now. But
Same here.
yeah, but cultivation. Oh my if you're cultivating anything, you better hold your nuts and pray, my dog.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's
Every day.
crazy.
I'm not gonna
here, it's like you can cultivate anything anywhere.
in my first apartment, you remember, I had a right next to my bed.
Yeah, your tent.
I had a 4x4 grow tent with
Yeah.
6 plants inside of it.
Those
At
look
the,
It was nice too.
at the age of 17, it's hilarious. It's so funny to think about that now, which is not legal at all. But you know,
Hey,
you're not
It's
gonna
the
think about
stepping stones in the foundation.
exactly. It makes us who we are, right? You
It
know,
makes you the hustler, man.
I had such a passion for it, and that's why I think I'm so passionate about this project that I couldn't, and I still feel this way now. I recently just cut down a harvest in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Not legal at all either, but
Oh no.
It doesn't matter where it is.
it doesn't matter where it is. No one knew where it was, but
No.
it was very sketchy. I remember every day I would be like looking outside like the window, like. So it's not fun when you have to worry
Did you
about
ever
like
watch
that.
Breaking Bad?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like
It was
Walter.
I was exactly like Walter, exactly.
You're like Walter.
So it's better. Like when I was down here in Waterford growing, dude, I had the maintenance guy come in one day, and my furnace was right next to the tent. He literally walked in to change the filter, looked at my tent, looked at me, and he goes, "Nice."
Nice.
And he changes my filter and leaves. So like I had no worry there at all. It was completely legal. If you were 21, you could legally cultivate 10 plants. You don't need to worry about it. As long as the apartment didn't care, no one cared. Now in Florida, it was to the point where I'm not doing it again now. Was because in the second place I would have maintenance people coming
So I
in
think
there.
the risk to reward is not worth it.
Even. That's a you know
Which is crazy.
when I was younger, I made a good amount of money in ways that shouldn't be talked about. That shouldn't have been done either. You know,
Right.
ways that weren't the right way.
Right.
And so I can kind of I can speak on that as well and see it from their point of view. And that's another reason I quit doing that was because having that.
Money is the evil of all root.
It is the.
Jesus.
No, we all know what you're saying. It is truly the root of all evil, man.
Yeah.
Truly, truly it is. It is a.
It makes people do scary things, especially when you don't have it and you want what someone else
Yes.
has and you've never had or can't have it.
Well, exactly. You know, like they say, you know.
You really act up a certain type of way.
Exactly. Well, that's why, you know, gluttony is a deadly sin, you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's end it off on a little bit of a positive note, Caden.
course.
We're already 2 months into the year.
Right.
What do you have next planned? You know, do you have anything big that you want to let the people in on? Any dates that people should be aware of? Anything people should be checking out anytime soon?
Keep an eye out for 710. That's looking like it might be the release of Stoner Crypto Club
Oh, hell
to
yeah.
the public.
Hell yeah.
That's something major. We're getting into heavy promotion now because now we can run Facebook, Google, and Snapchat ads
That's
to the
sick,
website.
bro.
So
Hell yeah.
we're gonna start getting into some really heavy promotion, and as well as.
You gonna try to host an event or anything for it?
Well, if there's a lot to talk about there. If they want to, you know, check out our Instagram at Stoner Crypto Club or
It'll be
my,
linked below.
of course, or my personal Instagram, Caden Matthews X. I speak much more about it there, but our roadmap is very intricate, and I'm also about to release the white paper the end of this week, right before we release our website. So that goes extremely in detail in everything we're going to do. But yes, we have many exclusive, almost like what Bored Ape Yacht Club is doing, many exclusive
yeah.
parties across the United States that are only attendable by Stoner Crypto Club holders, whether that be parties on
Well,
yachts.
so maybe we could get an extra invite here.
Oh yeah, no, you guys will for sure have your.
Give me an invitation that says thank you to Dogecoin.
Of course. We'll have we're definitely gonna get you guys some custom NFTs. We'll have to speak on what you like.
Yeah,
And
just give me a shirt.
Yeah.
I'll be appreciative
Hey,
of that.
that's another big
Right.
thing that
I just like supporting my boys.
yes, sir.
That's all I'm
Much
about.
love. That's speaking on this finally. That's another reason I love Florida was because it's very much I'll help you, you help me.
Mhm.
Not as much as it is up here in Michigan as I'm gonna succeed. Fuck you, you
Yeah,
watch me.
right,
You know what I'm saying? That's
I'm
how
always
I
make
like
sure
it.
you're below me. We can both succeed, but you're always be below me.
Exactly. That's how I'm always gonna check you. That's how people are, you know, up here. And yeah, I love that mentality of I want to see all my homies win, you know.
100%.
But another big thing I'm looking forward to is I've been really getting into manufacturers for our merch for Stoner Crypto Club, and now I'm starting to get some. I'm about to order some samples and get to really designing the merch. So I'm very
yeah.
excited for that
That's
as well.
sweet, man.
But
710's right around the corner,
yep,
man.
yeah, it really is. It's
4 months.
it's also very
months, yeah.
nerve wracking, man, because it's a lot of work. But
Day by day it comes
It'll
closer
all
and
pay
closer.
off, man.
of course, but man, the biggest things coming up, I look forward to every day. It's really just self-improvement, man. Like what I truly enjoy the journey of, I truly think it's the journey and not the destination, man. Like, truly.
You're exactly right, bro.
It's the waking up every day, improving just that 1%.
Just being grateful for it. That's what I tell a lot of people. How are you doing today? I'm alive.
Yes, sir.
I'm 6 feet above ground, not 6 feet below.
People ask me how you doing today. I say I'm unstoppable, and they're like, "Yo, that's how you gotta be." It's all up here, man.
It's the mindset. Man.
It is. It truly
Mindset's
is.
over everything.
So before we finally close this off, it's been great talking. Is there any final crazy stories you want to let us in on? Anything that you held back between something that's juicy, that we can use as some clickbait, as some
crazy
real
stories,
crazy
experiences
What do we got here?
You've had in Florida.
I mean,
like you got your dick bit off by a Rottweiler when you were outside or something.
Whoa, I'd be out of
like that.
I'd be out of a little bit of work there if that happened.
You said Florida's crazy, bro.
It's
they might
quite
make
crazy.
It work.
I mean, you take your pick, man. I've been through everything from, like I said, totaling my car to shortly after that, my house getting robbed for mostly everything I own.
Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa, right? Yeah. It was.
You never told us about this.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy time. That's a good story.
Were you there?
I was not there at the time. If I was there at the time, I probably would. I would have defended my home. That's what I would have done,
That's
know.
Most
but
important.
Of course, but no.
As you should have.
I think it was the night of the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight, or it was. It didn't.
Or is it Khabib?
Khabib.
No, it was Mayweather and McGregor. It was about 2 years ago, October. I almost remember it specifically because of insurance.
Almost specifically. To a T after that.
Yeah. I had a little watch party and it got way too crazy. I think people started just posting up on their story the address because every time I turned around, I was seeing groups of people. I had no idea who they were. Like, I remember at one point looking up and seeing 3 or 4, I'm talking 6'5" Mexicans with big perms and all in black turtlenecks with gold chains, all sitting there with their arms behind their back, just standing there. And I remember thinking to myself, like...
And you're from Waterford, you've seen this before.
Yeah, I was like, that's awfully peculiar.
Yeah, this
like,
doesn't look like they're here for the Super party.
Yeah, who are they? They were sitting in my kitchen. I'm like, the fight's out there, so I'm already kind of... There were so many people, I was so overwhelmed. It got to the point where, like, there was some drunk 15-year-old laying on my floor, and this is after the fight, and I'm trying to get everyone out of my house, and I'm like, yo, someone get this, like, we got to get this kid off the floor, like, let's get out. And my girlfriend, Skylar, and her friend at the time, they really wanted to go to this, like, little hangout we all had called Period Palms out there, and I'm a smart person, I know how it is. Right. You don't leave your house right after a party.
Yeah, right.
People know, like, I know what time people are fucking on. Mm-hmm. So I was very pushing. I was like, nah. But, fuck it. Whatever.
What's the worst that could happen?
I didn't think my house was going to be robbed, obviously. So, I was like, whatever. If we can get this drunk 15-year-old off my floor, I'll go.
That's a win in itself.
Right, exactly. Finally get him off. I remember leaving, and someone must have... Well, previously, before that, the cops had showed up for a noise complaint, and everyone had gone into my bedroom and into my closet where I had my weapons, my safe, my
shit,
everything you needed.
Tens of thousands of dollars worth of shoes, Red Octobers, all these crazy things. All got taken, by the way. All this stuff. And I didn't think much of that until after, and I was like, wow, what a dumb-ass move on my part. What a fucking stupid move, but...
That's fucked up.
Yeah, but I left. We went to Period Palms. I promise you we were not there for more than an hour. Just fuck the phone. Yeah. We were not there for more than an hour. Kind of listening to music, hanging out and whatnot. And I come home. I know I locked my door. Someone must have unlocked. I had a sliding glass door at the time. Someone must have unlocked as they left. I swear I checked it, but...
Guess not.
Guess
was
not.
this at your first apartment?
That first apartment you guys had saw.
Shit. Yeah.
So they came right through the...
And I come home and I put my key in and I go to unlock it and it was already unlocked. And I thought that was really weird. I was like, huh. Because
Always lock.
Every single fucking time
Double
lock
check,
my door.
yeah.
Oh yeah, for
It's a
sure.
muscle memory thing you do.
And so like as soon as I felt that, something dropped in my stomach. I was like, oh, and I didn't notice anything at first. I did not know my house had been robbed for at least an hour.
So you didn't ransack it or anything?
No, they were very smart about it. We went through the house, and this was after, and this is when me and my girlfriend had just started dating. Not even dating at the point, but we were just like really digging each other. We went into my bedroom, and I believe whatever, and I'm laying there, and I get up, and she says, "Oh, can you grab me some shorts?" And I get up to go in my closet, and I'm sitting in my closet, and I'm like, wow, it feels, and I'm like thinking to myself, like, something's off in here, like something's really off, and I couldn't put my fucking finger on it. And I looked down, and my safe was gone. I was like, whoa. And I looked up, my assault rifle was right next to it, and I looked next to it, my assault rifle was gone. I was like, dude. Ooh. I was like, no fucking way. I was like, did I move it? And I started looking around, and I looked up, all my shoes are gone. I was like, no fucking way. And my heart just fucking sank, man. I kind of went and looked around the whole house. Xbox was gone, amplifier to, there's $1,000 amplifier to my subs, like 20-something thousand worth of shoes.
Did they ever get caught?
No, I have a very good idea of who it is, and they're...
Well, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, right? But they're karma's a bitch, right? Karma's a bitch. I don't need to do anything.
That's fucking
the universe will take care of it. However, all that stuff kind of went missing. I had called the police. They did all fingerprints and whatnot, and I filed for insurance and got maybe a fourth, maybe a quarter of what it was worth, because they gave me retail value of all those shoes, not resale.
You didn't insure it at the value.
Yep.
And you probably bought some of them resale,
oh my
right?
fucking god! Yeah. Oh yeah, the Red Octobers were.
Yeah, of course you didn't get Red Octobers.
They were ripped. They were ripped. I got them for $3,000. Those were $12,000 shoes at the time, but I probably couldn't have sold them for more than $5,000. But I mean, I had Travis Scott ones, multiple pairs, two pairs of the Sean Cliver Dunks.
I would have been livid.
Oh my fuck, dude! I'm to this day it makes me sick to my stomach still. Like those are the type of mistakes that teach us lessons, though, right? That are like you learn from that. You'll never make that mistake again.
I bet you when you leave, you quadruple check your doors.
Oh fuck yeah! Oh yeah! I got a Ring camera. I got a
You gotta put them inside too.
Yeah, I was about to say that's what we actually were just speaking about, that putting one inside. It's just we didn't want one upstairs always watching us, but
it's just you two watching each other.
Main floor entrances.
Watching the.
Yeah, bro.
I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist. I think people can watch you through those. However,
100%.
There's someone that can look. So in having it maybe in my living room, I don't know about, but like at the top of because I have a 3-story townhouse, so having it like the top of my stairs, looking down at my garage and my front door.
You want to get wherever you can see a face.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Door to outside
they're not. There's no other way they can enter the home. So I think that would be the way. Yeah, I think that would be the way. I truly do. That's something for me and you to speak on a little bit, but
they'll figure that out.
That's a good idea, actually. Giving me good ideas here. But yeah, no, it's that's just one of many, man. And and it's getting into adult films and stuff. Fuck, the amount of crazy stories I have there.
Eyes you have on you.
There could be a part 2 at any, and we could go on for the entire podcast.
We might have to do a part 2 of just stories.
Crazy stuff. That's what I'm saying. Just fucking stuff. Like it's crazy, but that's why I think people truly should, if anything, just take that risk, man. Just leave the house.
I was say, what's your closing message to the people?
Just take the risk and. You are in your prime as a young man or woman in your 20s, early 20s, or even 18.
Yeah, young teen.
You are in your prime, and in these years, there's not a single millionaire I've met that is still looking for another million, but they would give up every dollar they had to be 20 again.
Yep.
And that is the truth. So my biggest message is really to just take the risk. You're young. You have the chance right now to fuck up and try again and that's what you have over these 50-year-old millionaires. Yep. And people who are so much more ahead of you. Speaking to these people, they look back and they say, no, we're so much more ahead because of time. They print money every day. They don't print time.
Exactly right.
So
time is the most valuable thing on this planet.
And it waits for nobody. So, and there's no better time to start than now. Is it going to be one day or day one? And that's the truth. There's, like I said on my story yesterday, time waits for nobody. So my message would be to just take that risk, whatever it may be, whether it's starting that business or asking that person out or moving out of your parents' house or
starting even going to the gym.
Literally. Eating right. Improving a little bit, like we said. You don't have to change your entire being in one day. You don't have to, dress, eat, walk, talk, act different all in one day. But if you just improve 1%, maybe read 2 pages today and 5 pages tomorrow and 10 pages the next day.
And by the end of the year, you could be at 100%.
Exactly. And maybe you're reading fucking 3 chapters in an hour at the end of the year. You never know. So it's truly just staying consistent, persistent, and taking that risk. Man, I think that's my last message.
It's an amazing message, man.
Thank you.
That's the best way to leave it out for the people. Caden, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you guys
we
for having me on.
really appreciate it. It's been great talking, some great stories.
It's been great seeing you guys.
We had our ups and our downs on the story, but I love it.
It'll be fun. And hey, maybe we'll have even more crazy stories that
I would say hopefully by that time.
Between now and then, right?
Hey, hopefully they're good though. I don't want no bad stories. I want good stories though.
We learn from them all, but I agree with that. I agree. Well, again, yes.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
And that's the end of the Unscripted podcast. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.